Yes, good afternoon. I hope that you are doing well, and this will be my first time to give you a short lecture about our subject on ISY 198. As introduced earlier, we are supposed to start in the middle of the term, but I believe that we need a lot of preparation in terms of um, selecting a topic and appropriately addressing some concerns, especially if you are not really that prepared, in particular, the project that you are going to pursue as the final requirement of the course. So for this video, I will be introducing only the syllabus of the course. And it doesn't mean that we need to follow this one, but at least you have a guide on the progress and what are the things that we need to do and maybe requirements for the course. So by the way, I will introduce also myself. I am your teacher for ISI 198, and I am, as indicated in the slide, I am Rabi Villas. I'm currently connected to the Department of Information Technology, but temporarily designated as the Dean of the College of Computer Studies. So without any further ado, let me move to the syllabus of the course. So the course is actually a methods of research or research methods. By the way, this is not my first time to handle this course, so I hope that we will at least focus a certain things or allocate some time to study and prepare for the course for you to be able to complete the course. Majority of the students before will get an INC grade at the end of the term for the reason of they need time or they need to finalize the topic that they need to produce. But this is an issue for the department, so I hope that you will allocate more time on this research, since this would be a final requirements and somehow defining moments of that will show what an IS graduate should be. And so we will start with a description of the course. So this will introduce and guide the students on how to plan and design undergraduate research. It also requires the student to write and submit an approved thesis proposal and maybe an experimental stage of research development. But basically, the main requirement of the course is at least you have a proposal defense. Sometimes we will agree at the department level or the program level, faculty of the information systems department might agree that we don't need to have the formal proposal, but at least a short presentation about the research spaces for grade. But strictly speaking, methods of research will require you to have a proposal defense considering the forms. But we will discuss this within the semester if we can cope up with the schedule. So some prerequisite for this course is that at least you will have a background on IS related course pertains to software development, or if you have a personal background about software development, that would be better. For the Molly class, I'm not sure, gotcha. So it's in progress yet. But submission of requirements would be on the Molly class. I will share the link and we can chat this in our FB group. For further details, and also for our Facebook group, thanks to the one who created the Facebook group, at least we can now communicate early, and I hope your classmates will be able to join in this group. You are 24 in total, so I hope that everyone will be joining, if not as of now, as well as enroll in the ISY 198 course through Modi for submission. Students' learning outcomes, that means at the completion of this course, meaning after the course, after you have taken the course, you're expected to define and describe a problem or gaps in an organization or existing research area in information technology or systems. But this is an information systems course, so you might be able to focus on the information system part, meaning problem define. You have to define or describe a problem, which is actually stated a statement of the problem in your paper. The second part is apply, construct, and write a solution or recommendation using information technology identified. This will be form one of the assignment, but somehow this will be expressed in your objective part. write a solution, but not necessarily be the solution itself to the problem, but at least you will implement it maybe during your thesis time. The third one is summarize, synthesize, and present a review of related literature about a research topic. So at this moment, we are aware that we need to have an RRL in or chapter 2 in your proposal. Another is write a research or project proposal that will package the entire preliminary requirements, the first 3 tapos select and defend a methodology to be used for research projects. So you need to have a methodology. Of course, that's chapter 3, and I'm sure you may be familiar with this one if you have encountered this one during your senior high school. Appreciate the value of research as a way of learning. Since you have different topics, and I might not be an expert in the specific topic that you will be selecting. So this one is you will learn on your own. That means I hope that you can appreciate the learnings that you will be experiencing here, but mostly of your own. I will only guide you on the writing of the research, but to a particular topic, maybe you can get another advisor, or you may be partly advised by me. So to summarize all, the ultimate output of the course is to have proposal and defend it in at least one panel member as a group. That means you will not be proposing as an individual student, but the measure basis for your proposal is as a group. It doesn't also mean that you will get the same grade as a group, but most of the time the group will have the same grade. That sometimes if there are problems or concern, there might have differences in grade, especially for individual assignment or for groups that might rate their other group mates differently if they will not agree of the same grade. So as stated, you need to write a research proposal and at the same time defend it. If you can defend it in 3 panel members, so you will probably have a grade of 1.0 or 1.25, and the least is 1.5. But if you cannot defend the proposal at the end of the term, you might get a grade of 1.5 or maybe lesser. So how will you be graded? Your introduction part would be composed of 30%, the review related is 30% of your grade, and the research methodology is 30%, and hopefully I would total to 30%. On the first week of the course, or the first I can say module or group of courses that you'll be taken, is that you will have a writing of initial literature review, as well as identifying the APA format of the writing. So you will write a short RRL or chapter 1, then writing the statement of the problems. We might not be as structured as it is presented here, but at least on the first part of submission, you need to submit the chapter 1 part, and maybe part of it is already an RRL part. But the main requirements here is that you need to write the problem statement and objectives, as well as some other parts of the introduction that will help you identify the problem, and of course your readings of the literature. The second part would be on the review of related literature, somehow synthesis and readings on the methodology part. And so that means on the second, maybe it's not necessarily by week, but you can work on your own as a group. By the way, the members of the group need to be at least 2, maximum with 3. So the ideally one is that each group must have 3 members, and 1 must be designated as a project leader or the leader of the group, or somehow the other one would be partly focused on technical and the other one would focus on documentation, as long as you agree within your group who will be the leader and who will be taking the other role. And it doesn't mean that you are a project leader, you don't work. You are a project leader, you work. The project proposal be on your own, but somehow you will steer the accomplishment of the course. As Then later you have a methodology and review of related literature formalized. So we will start with chapter 1, then chapter 2, but during chapter 1, actually we are partially doing chapter 2, and definitely we will decide on what would be the content of chapter 3. The remaining time would be more on consultation. The reason for this one is that the project, you have different topics, so you need to focus on discussion within group. My advice would be per group, so that I can also focus on the concern of the topic. Maybe it would be helpful based on experience to have invited some of the faculty members of the IS department to share, record a video that will share their topics, interested topics where they can advise. That means at earliest this point, you are better to have an advisor that will guide you through the process. Although the methods of research might be guided by me, but somehow the topic might be guided by other faculty members. So if you have known some faculty members where you're interested in a certain topic, you can already approach them. And maybe I can also invite them to talk here in the class, or maybe they can record a video where they can share their topics to you, so that maybe you can identify which expertise the IS faculty members or the IT department as a whole has, so that you can also approach or decide on a certain topic that we have expertise of the department. So the grading system would be focused on this one. The entire documentation would be the 50% of your grade. In fact, here in the grade component, the 70% is the final paper, but let's focus on this one. Since this is not a maybe, we don't have much more limited face-to-face or interaction. So the documentation would be the 50% of your grade. The 20% is the progress report. 20% is the final presentation, and the 10 is guidelines and formatting. Of course, as a teacher, I will integrate some of items such as your attendance or active participation in the class. That will be part of the grading, but the main component of it would be influenced by your documentation or the document that you have submitted. Of course, that would be incorporated there, the progress report, where the progress report can be your attendance or your participation during class discussion. But most of it is your initial submission and consultation, because progress, I will see if you are participating in each of the progress of your project. Lastly, we have some policies and guidelines. You can read this separately. You can pause the video and maybe check for specific policies. But what is important here at this point is that you just need to participate in the course, every online discussion. It doesn't also mean that you're always present, but at least you will submit what are the necessary documents that need to be submitted for me to be graded and to help you guide on the formulation of your topic. And lastly, we are also concerned of the civility in the classroom. So this would not be really that concern. I hope that at this point, you have a solid background on how you behave in the online environment, or even if we have physical, limited face-to-face. I'm not sure if that would be implemented this semester, but definitely it will be on the August part where you will be implementing your thesis maybe. So I will summarize all. Let me go back to the first slide. The focus of the syllabus is just to give you an idea of what is expected. So what is expected of the course? Number one is the project research proposal that will serve as your final requirements for the course. So this is a research. That means, I repeat now, this will be an indicator also of your output or indication of your learning as a BSIS course. In terms of topics, I will introduce some of the topics later, but that would be decided by the group. It can be related to disaster, which is very fresh as of now. We have also projects related to development of a software for a certain organization. And the other one, we focus on a certain use or usage of an information system. So even as simple as social media related use can be tackled by IS. So we look at IS will focus on development, identification of its use or assessments of its use, as well as any aspects involving users and the ICT. But the skills will be developed more on, if you will, focus on topic software development. As of now, for instance, our chancellor is asking if someone can develop for a mapping system where vulnerable population or a set of people can be identified during disaster, and which vulnerable people can be a priority during when a disaster happens. Okay, so that would be it for this video. I hope that you can ask questions in our forum. Also, please, I hope that you have answered the questions that will pop up in this video. That would be it. The good day to everyone. We will meet, maybe I will schedule for an online synchronous discussion also.